Let's hit the road off with KDW, which stands for Khan's Digital World, where the mastermind is Dr. Badrul Khan. Let's see his genius take for this month. I'm Nilima Mehra, the executive producer of Global Television Networks on Fox 5 Plus in Washington, D.C. You're watching KDW, Khan's Digital World. Founder, Dr. Badrul Khan. Is KDW webinar tidbits featuring Dr. Badrul Khan's participation in international webinars dealing with digital transformational issues.
And it seems to me the surveys depend very much on who is doing the survey and what biases or prejudices they have. Just to give 3 examples, there's been recently quite a large-scale survey by the Joint Information Systems Committee in the UK, which shows that about 62% of them, or somewhere in the 60% of students are very happy with the online experience they've had and therefore presumably would be pleased to continue it.
It requires a higher level of independent learning, intrinsic motivation, and a support system for learning process. We are living in a 2 worlds. One is physical world, like I'm at home, I'm in a physical world, but my food supplies, I may order it through the internet. So that world is the virtual world. So today's topic is so physical digital. It's very nice because physically you're living, but around us a new world has created called digital world. So if you're a good citizen for this physical world, you have to be a good citizen for the digital world. So if you can combine yourself to be good citizens of physical world and the digital world, you can go forward.
Be a little more scholarly, talking about hybrid is where you get something better, when you cultivate something deliberately to get something better, because we've been blending for a long time.
In 19th of March, when the pandemic is officially declared by the government and 26th March, the lockdown is officially started, we are really puzzled. But I'm really grateful to all of our faculty, all of our admin people, especially our IT people. Everyone is come forward. And thank you, Sir John Daniel and Badrul Khan. Both of them, you came to our university in 2013, and you took the first initiative to disseminate this online education among our senior management. So I'm sure that the way we are moving, the transformation, and again, as rightly pointed out, the physical will not be considered rightly if there was no transformation of the technology.
Thank you for joining us. With permission from all panels, we can say good night from Bangladesh.
My name is Drew Clark, and I'm the editor of Broadband Breakfast, which is a news and event service, a community, if you will, focused on getting better broadband and better lives for everyone. Obviously, we're focused on the United States. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and open up our view to all of our panelists. We're going to start off with Dr. Charles Severance, who's a clinical professor and teaches in the School of Information at University of Michigan. Dr. Lori Williams. Lori is the president and CEO of NC SARA. Dr. Badrul Khan, who coined the phrase web-based instruction. Dr. David Weidberger. And
business model for new higher education would be customer-oriented, snippetized Tokyo education, micro-credentials, and competency-based.
Will higher education change as much in the next 12 months as in the last 12 months?
Does their current business model support continuing online learning or remote instruction? I think people are getting a whole lot more sophisticated about markets for online education, depending upon the changing demographics in their state and in their region. Most students tend to go to school near where they live, but online makes those opportunities available to them far outside their local communities.
So much, and for your comments. Badrul, what are some final thoughts you have?
What will happen, the world is going to be competency-based learning, meaning that if Bill Gates has not finished his degree from Harvard, but he becomes the world's largest employer, would he look for an Ivy League degree holder, or he would look for someone has the skill to do the job? So it's going to be competency-based, synergized of education, micro-credentials, good business model, great return on investment. And remind me if it happens and tell me, the Badrul, your prediction wasn't bad. It's not my prediction. I see that. I have a son, I call him. He said, no, text me. They don't want to hear. They want me to text. So they want synergized. Attention is not that good for us anymore.
Well, certainly won't change as much next year as it did this year. It is one of the most disruptive events in American history, world history, for sure. I think the question is, how much more change will there be than we saw in 2019? And I suspect more change. As Charles points out, the COVID will still be having a direct effect on us. But even if it didn't, I think it will accelerate change. I hope it accelerates change towards catching up with what the internet is already been training us and our students on about learning and education.
What are some things that you see more likely to happen now as a result of the last year's experimentation on education?
I ask people if they want a free online education for their 18-year-old from the University of Michigan, and their student just can do it all in their basement without ever, putting anything but slippers on for 4 years, or do they want a free on-campus education at the University of Michigan that's all free? And it's all free. Both are free. And no one says, I really want my kid to stay home from the ages of 18 to 22 and be in the basement the whole time.
Well, thank you very much.